Okay, now we part 2 of today's class on the 15th July. Okay, in this question, it says Sam dived from a diving board into a pool as shown in the diagram below. After he had dived into the pool, a splash was made. Fill in the boxes to show the energy changes during the dive. So at the diving board here, definitely is the potential energy. Okay, so for this question, okay, I put here One Academy Diving School. So you put in the answers here, this part. Okay. Okay, I noticed this question, I haven't keyed in the answer. Okay, so this one we'll do it together. For this question, okay, okay. So you put in the first one, GPE change to kinetic. I write the short form, but you spell out the whole word. GPE, gravitational potential change to kinetic energy. Okay, into the pool is kinetic because the person is still going inside, and there is sound energy. Okay, this field. Okay, previous answer. Okay, this one. Okay, it's actually down here, this part. So GPE here, kinetic is here, and then another KE, and then sound energy, SE. Sound energy. Okay. Sound energy. Okay, next question they ask you, Sam climbed to position K, as shown here. Okay, Sam climbed to position K. K is even higher, and dive into the pool. If he used the same diving method, would the splash be made more than, less than, or the same compared to jumping from the diving board? Explain your answer. So actually greater height, right? So you have more GPE will be converted to more kinetic. So they will have more splash. Okay, so this is the answer for this part. So you say more splash because position K is at a greater height. That will cause him to have more GPE, and more GPE will be converted to more KE, this part. Okay, and will produce bigger splash. Okay, next question, part C. Okay, there's no part C, part B only. So this part, I will screenshot the answer and then send to you all shortly. And then I will show you one video clip about diving. That one is a platform diving in the SEA Games. Okay, so you take note of this. So meanwhile, take note of this. Okay, this question also comes out in one of the open-ended questions, which I show you now in my YouTube channel. Okay, let's continue this question. Okay, so you notice this is a springboard, right? You know how the springboard works. So in the swimming event or sports event, they have this 1 meter springboard dive. You can watch the video, or if later you have time, I will show you the springboard dive. So this springboard is very elastic. So they say state the force which allow the ball to fly off at point B. Okay, point B. So these are the elastic spring force which I put there. Okay. Next, without changing the springboard, what can the boy do if he wants the ball to reach a point higher than Q? So if you know how does the springboard works, right? So your possible answer is, okay, you push down the springboard harder. Okay, push down the springboard harder. Or you can say apply a greater force. So this part, let me put it here. Okay, push down the springboard harder, or say apply, not change with height, only GPE change. So for this one, you're supposed to draw bar graph. Okay, notice a bar graph, because some students Actually, they know, but they see wrongly. They go and draw line graph. So bar graph, you need to draw the stack. So as long as you draw, okay, because I don't have a ruler here, I use my free hand. By the way, you should use a ruler. So you draw 3 blocks, right? Same height and same width. Okay, same height and same width. Okay, you must use a ruler because I don't have a ruler to draw on the screen here. So you just draw something like that. 3 blocks, same height and same width. Okay, because the gravitational force of these 3 positions doesn't change. So that's a trick question, because gravity doesn't change. Because unless they put gravitational potential energy, so it's gravitational force. This is a trick question. Okay, so you hold on. For this one, I will try to share with you a video clip.
And Avia is going for the
from Singapore
1.5
games,
as did Huang, the previous
from
competitor.
Singapore.
So again, we've got something to compare it with immediately.
Okay, notice here, this board is only 1 meter above the water level. So this is called a 1 meter springboard event. It's held last year in Vietnam, 2021. Observe the conversion of energy, elastic potential energy into kinetic energy. Notice he pressed the board down, right? So it's being lifted off. So there's an elastic spring force being shown in action.
Oh, he pulled that entry in very nicely. I think he's made a nice recovery there. Looked like it was going to pull that entry in very nicely.
Replay. Elastic potential change.
Oh, he pulled that entry in very nicely. I think he's made a nice recovery
elastic
there.
to kinetic, then
like it was going
GP.
to over-rotate,
See the slow-mo.
somehow he's ripped it through. That's great maturity for a teenager
on
the entry. This looked like it might have been overcooked, and then he's curled in underneath. This looked like it might.
Okay, so that's part of the questions. Okay, so we come back to here, this part. Okay, this is not platform diving. So this one is fixed one. Just now we saw that one is springboard. Springboard, the thing will move. Okay, so this is one question, energy conversion. Okay, let's continue this part. Okay, before that, I would like to show you another video clip. Give me a second to look for it. Okay, you see the screen sharing here, this part. This is somebody do this jump off a cliff, 58.8 meters. Observe the energy conversion. It's 58.8 meters. The higher than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Doing some stretching exercise, warm up for the best. So all safety must be done properly for such event witnessed by many people in this surrounding area. So as he stood there, he has a lot of GPE. So at this position, the mass of the person plus the height. So he has a lot of gravitational potential energy. Slow-mo. As a leap off. Okay, notice the change of GPE to kinetic energy. So this is measured in kilometers per hour. So he exceeded 100 kilometers per hour before hitting the surface of the water. Top speed 123 kilometers per hour. I think in less than 4 seconds. Let's see the timing shot. With 5.85 seconds. This is the time. It tests you, those students calculate the average speed. Okay, let me know within 1 minute when you calculate average speed. So you take the height, 58.8 meters, complete in 3.58 seconds. What's the average speed? Okay, the next thing I want to observe is the splash, because just now earlier we said the splash, right? So during the slow-mo, you'll see how much splash is being created. Okay, this part, he is kind of like perhaps a bit strained, maybe during the impact, right? Perhaps maybe his joints get some injury, minor injury, so he takes some time to recover. So he raises his hand. Okay, they give a cheer. Okay, there's this part I want you to observe, the splash created here, this part. The splash created is quite a lot because of the impact. So from here to here, I think the splash is at least maybe 2.5 meters high. If you observe the person entry point here. A lot of splash being created. Okay. The splash is quite high, right? From here, you can see. Mandela already, this part. The splash. Okay, so we come back to the questions earlier here. Yeah, about the amount of splash created. So if you leap off from a greater height, right, due to the increase in the GPE, and they will convert to more KE and result in more splash. Okay, so this question has just been discussed. So let's continue with the next question. Okay, we'll stop sharing here. I'll come back to the question here. Okay, here, this part. Maybe somebody have a question here. Okay, somebody calculated for me. Can you convert to kilometers per hour, Dora? I want to find the average speed in kilometers per hour. Okay, that's why I was asking the student, because the height is 58.5 meters, right? Is it 58.5? Right, and it completed 3.58 seconds. So how to convert to kilometer per hour? Testing your science skill. No, maths. Actually, you learn speed in math. Okay, later I show you that. I do separately. Okay, now come back to this question. We are at where now? Let me exit this one first. Okay, exited already. Okay, come back to this question. Roller coaster question. Okay, Carl took a ride on a roller coaster. The picture shows how Carl riding a loop along the roller coaster track. Okay, so the graph below shows the kinetic energy. So you take note of this part, right? On the left-hand side, this part is KE. Okay, because the other graph they ask you to sketch is PE. So you notice where's the maximum speed? Maximum speed is at A. Because as it go up, right, the kinetic energy, the GPE is changed to kinetic energy. Okay, so from here, it goes up here. It makes a loop, right? And then exit this part. Okay. So at A and C, can you see A and C is maximum kinetic energy, means maximum speed. Okay. So now in the original question, okay, they ask you draw this graph to show how the gravitational potential energy would change. So at the greatest height, B, right? At B, right, this part, the GPE should be maximum. Okay. So you just reverse the thing. So your answer will be this curve. You try to draw like the mirror image, something like that. Okay. Something like that. So the answer shows something this way, okay. This curve. Okay, this curve over here. So same thing, I will screenshot this and that will send to the class here. Okay, the two questions I sent already. Okay, this one. Okay, next question. So this one discussed, okay, discussed already. Next question will be, okay, the gap one. Okay, this is part B. Okay, part B. Fill in the blank below to show two other forms of energy that kinetic energy is converted as a car moves from B to C. Okay, from B to C, right? B to C, because there's a track, so sound energy is involved. Okay, so this one you put in heat energy and sound energy, either way. Okay, so it's heat energy and sound energy, two other forms. Okay, next, this track, right? He noticed there are gaps in between. Okay, this gap is called to allow for expansion and contraction, which you learn in primary 4. Okay, what will happen to the track on a very hot day? Hot day means high temperature. Okay, because this is made of metal, right? Okay, so the metal will gain heat and expand. So you say the track would gain heat and expand. If there were no gaps, the track would break or buckle, and that will lead to accident. So take note of this. These two questions. Screenshot I will send over now. Okay, no gap means quite dangerous because the track would gain heat and expand and would buckle. Okay. Okay, question 7 is similar to question 1, you will see. Okay, so far okay. Maybe I check anyone got any question here. Okay, as I mentioned, this question 7, right, if you notice, is very similar to question 1, which we discussed, this one. Okay, so the greater mass and greater height will result in greater depth. So if you look at question 7, right, question 7 here. Okay, let me change the one to the without the answer one. Okay, Ali wanted to find out if different masses of metal ball affect the depth of the dent created in the sand. So now he used 3 different balls, 50 gram, actually 4 types, 50, 100, 150, and 200, increased by 50 grams. And this is a dent created. He measured the depth is 1 centimeter. So they ask you predict. Predict means you guess or infer how the depth of the dent would change when the mass of the ball increase, and give a reason. So that's very simple, right? You just say the depth of the dent would increase when the mass of the ball increase. And this is a reason, okay? Give a reason. When the mass of the ball increases, it will have more gravitational potential energy, which will be converted to more kinetic energy. Okay, simple, this one. Okay, next part about kiloliter. Actually, people died from that, kiloliter. Okay, so the next question mentioned, people may be seriously injured when even small objects are thrown out from high-rise building. Give a reason for this. Okay, do you know what happened in Singapore before? Also in other countries. In Singapore, we term this as kiloliter because they cause people to be seriously injured. So for this question, okay, because when you something is dropped from a high level, right, you will have more GPE, will be converted to more KE. So the object will hit the person with more force, result in serious injury. Okay, this part. Okay, so you take note of this part. This one, so don't do that because it's actually a crime. Okay, this one is the, if you see YouTube, there's a YouTube video on that. They interview a family who's actually, one of the members died because a glass bottle hit the person's head, because someone threw a glass bottle out from a high-rise building. Hold on, I check whether I can find that. It's actually reported in the news, in the news online. Okay, let me send the file first for these two questions. This one, and previously this one, right? These two. Okay, these two questions. So you take a look at this first, these two questions. Okay, someone got a request to kiloliter Singapore. Okay, I see whether I can find that. Actually, that was not long ago, because according to the YouTube video, this incident happened 1 year ago. Okay, 1 year ago. And let me see. Okay, if I do a screen share, you can see this one, right? This one, the condo kiloliter, Straits Times speaks to family of men fatally struck by a wine bottle. Okay, if you read this part, right? Okay, in here in the video, on this part, right? So the person is actually is an Australian. He's sentenced to 5 years and 6 months of jail this year. Sorry, last year, after he flung a bottle from a 7-story floor of a condominium, hitting the head of the person, fracturing the skull of this person. It's an old man who later died. So actually in this video, right, they are interviewing the family of the deceased person.
Actually, they wanted to meet us, right, at the last hearing. But because we don't know whether the closure is going to be last hearing or not, and then so what we actually tell the IO, then we say that we will only meet them after the sentencing. Yeah, because it's like if it's not closed yet, we also won't know what to expect. Yeah, and then whether should we actually talk to them. So we leave it until the best is after the sentencing, obviously.
Which is just now.
Yeah.
So
just now, I think
they did request for it.
They did request, and I think maybe because they, whatever the reason is, but yeah. So we are open. We are really open. If you want to meet us, it's fine.
So it can be quite sad because the innocent people fatally injured by some irresponsible act. Yeah, so actually the old man died because the bottle that was being flung out, although it's small, right, it has a lot of kinetic energy, will cause serious injury. Okay, that is related to this question that we just discussed here, this part. Okay, so people may be seriously injured or even killed by this we call the kiloliter. Okay, so at least you learn some socially responsible behavior in my science lesson. Okay, you look at the next question. This one is a circuit diagram with 2 batteries in series, right? So can you see this is like electromagnet? The circuit is closed. Yeah. So in this question, actually they ask you, explain how the method in diagram 2 enable Ali to drop different metal balls. Okay, there's one assumption, the metal ball must be magnetic into the sand. So you see the magnet is being attracted. So for these questions, you say that when the switch is open, electricity will not pass through the open circuit. The iron bar will be demagnetized, or you can say the iron bar cannot attract the metal ball and lose its magnetism, so it will drop down. Okay, so this part. Then part two, they ask you, however, Ali observed that the method in diagram 2 did not work when he used balls of 150 grams or more, because this one at first is 50 grams. Okay, they didn't say 50 grams. That means they say the lighter one works, but the heavier one doesn't. Okay, the reason is because the heavier metal balls, right? They have more what? The gravitational force acting on them is greater than a magnetic force. Okay, remember, don't use the word overcome. Remember somebody in the class here, right? You say that it's greater.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
imagine, okay? The gravitational force acting on the 150-gram metal ball is greater than a magnetic force of attraction exerted by the metal ball. So once again, I will screenshot this and then send to you all in the chat here. Okay, these two. Yeah, these two sent already. Good. Okay, let's continue next question. Question 8. Okay. Oh, okay, thank you. Feedback. Okay, before I go to the next questions, I will pause here for any questions.